Celebrity Book Club.
Anyone home?
Oh gosh, I'm not expecting any company.
I think we can just open the door and walk right in. I mean, we paid for the tour, so let's just welcome ourselves.
Lord, if I know at least at that $24.95, I'm getting my buck's worth.
I'm so glad you got that Groupon because it would have been $49.95.
Oh, I love Ree. This house is so gorgeous. Hello, we're here for the Drummond tour.
Hello. Oh my word.
Maybe if I'm quiet, they'll go away.
This is stunning. Wow. Look at all these gorgeous crosses that are everywhere. These Presbyterian crosses.
Oh my God, look at that huge bag of frozen meat. It looks like some sort of nugget or something like that.
I can see why her cowboys love eating here, man. There's a lot of space around this table.
Hello, Ree, lad.
Hello? Sorry. You're not supposed to be in this house. I was just taking a bath. And,
Oh, my Lord.
My word.
Yeah.
Oh,
my word.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Lord.
So sorry.
I'm sorry I'm naked right now.
No, Lord.
Oh, my Lord. Oh,
Lord,
is Lad with you
forgive me.
naked?
Oh,
Sorry, I asked. Okay, it's Lad and Ree time. You know, we're walking out.
Thanks if you can just leave, because I'm completely naked right now.
Okay, I know that.
Both of my breasts are out. Both of my vagina's out.
Oh my word! I'm so sorry. I can't believe.
Okay.
Do you want an autograph?
Yeah, well, can
if
I
you
just...
don't mind just having a real quick, and I would say, and I know as someone who has breastfed 3 of her children, but not the 4th, I will say that your breasts are in incredible condition.
Thank you so much.
And as neither regions, because as someone who's also birthed a few kids, other things drop. I'll tell you that.
Well, but I have red hair.
Oh,
yeah.
I have red hair.
True.
We know that comes with some advantages.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we have a lovely home.
Thank
you are
you.
beautiful. I can
Thanks.
see why.
Here, I'm just going to sign these books for you. Here's a Bible.
God bless. I brought a pocket Bible. Would you mind signing my pocket
Yeah,
Bible?
I'll sign the
So
pocket
my
Bible.
sister is Episcopalian. Would you mind signing her Bible as well?
Yes, that's because that's kind of a lesser Bible.
Lord,
I'll sign that.
I didn't say it. You did.
Okay, y'all go have fun and get out.
Okay. God bless.
Sorry about all this.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Ree.
God
God
bless
bless.
you, Ree. God bless you, Ree.
Wow. I can't believe we just saw Ree naked.
I'm turned on.
Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoir. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in. I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend. How are you, my girl?
Ooh, I'm feeling good. Mondays are the best day because it's when God says, let's do this again, sister.
I respect God's 7-day work week or 5-day work week so deeply because he just figured it out. You know what I mean? We need that day of rest and then bam, right back to the office.
Absolutely.
And yes, like most of our listeners, we are heading back to the office because President Biden said so. Hello, end of WFH. Hello, commuting.
I'm in my hardest pants, and I took 9 trains to get here.
Yeah, I think my dog is going to miss me more than my husband.
I did take the train. I got out of the train to take a bus. The bus wasn't coming.
Relatable,
Got back on the train, went the wrong direction.
Wow, okay.
Okay, I'm literally in Hathaway over here.
All right, when you haven't left the apartment in, I don't know, 2 years, global pandorm, anyone? Well, congrats. That's huge that you made it here. You were 10 minutes late, and it was really fucking rude.
Walks in with his coffee.
No, I'm actually thrilled. I'm thrilled to be back in the fucking studio.
Same. I mean, we've been here.
I know, but I was away, as you know.
Sorry, Steven is back from his 1 week in Nantucket.
Actually, almost 2 weeks.
It was almost a week and a half.
It was 2 episodes. For our listeners, that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. How do you tell a season in time? Is that the Rent lyric?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you tell a season in time? One of the famous lyrics
Rent.
from Rent. From Rent.
Have you seen Rent?
I saw it in theaters when I was a freshman at New York University, and then I downloaded the soundtrack because I'm so soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I got into it from the movie, but I never saw it live.
I'm burning inside because I want to ask that same question to someone else that's in the studio.
I know, someone who's super musical theater oriented.
Yeah.
Someone who I think of every time I think of musical theater.
Chicago company.
Yes, Midtown. Someone who reeks of Hell's Kitchen.
Hello, it's me, Kristen Chenoweth.
Kristen, thank you so much for coming!
Yes, Kristen!
Yay! Do you remember when the light fell on me on the set of The Good Wife?
That did happen.
Kept going. Audience, we have the funniest person alive, Madame
Cole Escola.
Hello.
is here. Hello.
Thank you.
I did see Rent also in New York City.
Thank you.
It was
Oh.
I saw it on Thanksgiving. Maybe I guess we were here in town at the same time. It was 2006.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I was in town that year.
Think of us both in New York at the same time, not even knowing each other. Not even knowing that we were seeing Rent.
Really a sliding doors.
Were you at
What if you had talked at, the
Oh yeah,
At
it
Union
probably
Square
was
Theater.
like
the Rent
is this
screening?
Is this the line for the bathroom? Yeah. I was kind of younger then.
I was
hopeful.
literally a virgin when I saw that film.
Wow.
Same.
Yeah.
What do you count as virgin though?
Unflowered. My hole had never been penetrated.
But sucking dicks and cock before.
I had definitely sucked cock.
I didn't lose my virginity till I was 25.
Oh.
Oh. Really?
Moving on. Okay. I heard it drop. Okay. Yeah.
And you count that as just sucking cock.
Because of
No.
God.
No, that's whole. Like no one.
So you did
like,
a good 7 years of dick sucking before hole happened?
Honey, I did a good 28 years of dick sucking. Okay.
Because
I was
she can
25.
self-suck, sweetheart.
What?
Well, that's very Catholic school girl who does anal and is
Yeah.
still a virgin.
Yeah. For me, it was just I didn't. Sorry.
No. I'm going to start crying.
I didn't. It really hurt.
Yeah.
It really hurt.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get past it. And I just didn't believe that it would never not hurt.
Well, I guess in your vision of virgin,
And by the way,
I'm still
yeah.
a virgin, I guess,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've...
You've never been.
Oh, you're
Anally
Yeah.
Susie Orman.
Yeah.
the 51-year-old
I'm a
virgin.
Yeah.
30 beep and a virgin. And happy with it, okay? I live a very fulfilling, functional life.
But I'd also never penetrated.
Sorry, what?
I said I've also. Sorry, thank you. I also to that point had never fucked anyone, topped either,
okay.
because with a face like this,
Right.
no one's letting you in the back door.
No, yeah.
Your
They
face
say-
screams top to me. I don't know.
You think so?
Screams.
Well, yeah, because you're a fucking dyke. And you think I look like Kim from season 4 of America's Next Top Model.
Well, now you said it.
Yeah.
Get you in a little top man blazer,
Okay.
skinny jeans.
Put
Sorry,
that boner away, Lily.
I'm dressing you with my eyes. Little fedora.
When did the Kim comparison stop, or are they still happening for you? I'm assuming there was a point where you're getting stopped in the street, probably,
Well, it was like 2006, around the time that I saw
Seeing Rent,
Rent.
yeah.
You walked out of Rent, and all these tiny
It was
lesbians
actually
were
me.
like,
I accosted you at the
Yeah.
Union Square Theater
You were the one
lobby.
that taught me. Yeah. I looked like her.
And I was like, "Hey, it's
I said, no.
you were robbed."
Tyra really like. She's so nice. She treats all her girls equal.
Well, speaking of dames of the screen,
of the small screen, dames of the barn, hens of the pack, heifers.
Yeah.
Oh,
hello. Listen, hey, it's hard to lose the baby weight, and no, I don't fit in those jeans from college, and let's not talk about that. Wine, anyone? So we're going to talk about someone who is known to audiences everywhere as
the pioneer woman.
So I quite literally did not know that this woman was not like an actual like House on the Prairie historical figure until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I think I'm in the minority, and I think most people have heard
I don't
of
know
her.
if you are in the minority. Can people call in and
The lines
vote?
are open.
The lines are
we'll
open.
do a poll.
1-888-IDOL-5
Yeah.
for yes. Yeah.
Cole suggested Ree's book.
Title:
Oh, yeah, I can't even say.
Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. Frontier Follies, Adventures in Marriage and Motherhood in the Middle of Nowhere.
Literally, thank the heavens, Lord of Oklahoma, this insane middle school essay that's 400 pages.
It's actually a collection of middle school essays.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's also a Christmas newsletter and a Facebook post.
It's the
It is
longest
the
Facebook.
longest Facebook
Yeah.
post in
Yeah.
history. And there's some recipes in there that are
For
really...
disaster
So she's
for kids. Okay.
So she is a chef. And
TV chef
she's
on
a
Food
TV
Network.
chef. And so as I discovered logging into my ex-boyfriend's Food Network
Her
app,
vibe. Okay.
there are 30 seasons of this show in only
Yeah.
10 years. So
Yeah.
they're really banging them out.
Yeah.
And so she became famous. She was
A blogger.
internet blog discourse. She was the original,
Like
just
mommy
like
blogger,
yeah,
Christian
just like
blogger.
when my husband Lad like comes home from the ranch, like I serve him up 3 baked potatoes covered in ground sausage,
But-
covered in 3 more baked potatoes covered in
And
cheese.
she didn't start with food. It was just like lifestyle, like Tales from the Ranch.
Oh, okay.
and then there was one recipe. It was like steak. She did one steak
Was it
recipe,
chicken
and
fried
that
steak? 'Cause that's
posted.
I watched the very first episode of the show, and it's chicken fried steak.
No, but she
Okay.
does.
Wait, is it his steak sandwiches that are like Lad's favorite?
Guys, I'm telling you, I think it's just steak. I don't know what you
I'm
want.
like, so you're a full Pioneer Woman, like historian, expert.
But no, I looked on her Wikipedia. She went, okay, so she grew up on a golf course.
But what she mentioned.
What she
She
mentions.
mentioned that because she's really random about her past, and she's
Yes.
always just being like, I don't know, I had a perfect childhood. There was no trauma. Stop asking me if there was trauma.
Yeah.
There was no trauma.
But
And you're
then-
like, I'm getting the vibe that maybe there was trauma.
Yeah.
And then her parents divorced the year she married Lad.
Oh,
and
right.
it kind of seems like she's on the side of her dad.
Yeah.
Because they talk about that
she
whole
doesn't
gala.
mention the mom at all.
Yeah.
Right. Because she grows up in Oklahoma, but like sort of suburban Oklahoma. Then she goes to UCLA.
Oh, right. Where she has like a surfer
She
boyfriend.
has like the surfer boyfriend.
But
and
do you know what she went there for journalism and then switched to gerontology, which is the study of aging.
What? What?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No. So and then she married Lad and moved to
wow.
be the Pioneer Woman.
My jaw is on the floor, and
Yeah.
I'm agog and aghast.
Gerontology.
The study of aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, though. I guess I liked kind of maybe just filling in the blanks myself, and kind of all these allusions to non-trauma kind of made me think things would be really bad. Because, of course, then there's that one section where she mentions how her car was stolen and the people who stole it murdered a woman.
Which is just very, I feel like, general Oklahoma.
And
And
it's
she's
just
just
maybe
like-
general Oklahoma, but...
Life on the ranch.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
ranch
I
life.
okay, let me just pull this part. The thing that reminded me of you is I feel like you sometimes do, and not to kind of blow up your comedy spot, but sometimes you'll do
Thank you.
characters where there's, what's behind, the darkness behind the facade
Middle America.
of suburbia,
Right.
middle America women,
Thank
what's
you.
going on there.
Thank
And you
you.
really mine that for comedic gold. And she has this like weirdly placid way of talking about it that feels very that. When my children were little, however, one of my biggest fears was that they would be kidnapped. This was somewhat understandable given something that happened to me years earlier. In my senior year of high school, I was robbed at gunpoint while exiting my ballet studio late one night. The group of 6 men got away with my car after I managed to break loose and run to safety, and I was lucky to have been physically unharmed. The perpetrators were apprehended a few days later after tragically murdering a woman who was out walking her dog. My car had broken down on the dirt road where she was walking, and they were convicted and sent to prison.
Thank the
Yeah,
Lord.
and then the end of the chapter is like, guess it's time for another baked potato.
And just to have a chapter on, because all the chapters in this book, it will just be like church,
Yeah.
basset hounds,
Yeah.
cow nuts, and then kidnapping.
Well, and then the lesson from that chapter is that she writes her address in Sharpie on her children's feet in case they get found. So it's sort of this dog tag that can't be washed away.
Like, if found dead, send body
return.
back.
If found like stripped nude and dumped in a ditch, they'll know where to send
Helpful
the body.
hint. Well, we need to talk about the gala because I listened to the audiobook.
Ooh, yum.
And she pronounces it gala.
Gala, of course she does.
Gala.
Yeah.
But I love the way she talks about, she's like, okay, so my husband had never been to a gala before. And she talks about it as if, like, you know, we all
go to galas.
We go to galas.
We go to galas. We all know what a gala is. We all remember our first gala.
Yeah.
And she's always being like, Lord, I love staying home. But then is like, all I want to do is put on some black slim skinny jeans.
Take out my chiseled from granite Wrangler wearing hubby.
I don't care if he says the word, but I want to flirt and be witty and make jokes with other couples.
Drink wine, cocktails, anyone?
Whenever she says, I literally want to flip my hair. Like, she's just picturing sitting at this just like $39.95 like steak with balsamic drizzle restaurant, flipping her hair in her black dress, making jokes with witticisms and other couples.
What her ideas of jokes though, like remember she has that story about how in college at a Halloween party she pretended to be a cat the whole time.
And she was like, meow.
She's like, I didn't say anything but meow the whole night.
And then she was like, and then that girl never spoke to me again because she thought I was annoying.
Which makes sense because that's such a homeschooler thing to do, and she homeschools her children. Back to the gala.
The gala.
So it is that thing where she thinks her husband is so sexy and hot because he's so mean potatoes.
He is so sexy and hot because he's so mean potatoes.
I would lose my
virginity.
So
I watched the show. I did my research.
Yeah, I watched the show
hot.
too. Yeah.
I also think there's insane sexual tension between him and his like Brokeback Mountain best friend,
Obviously.
Ranch Hand.
Cowboy Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I mean,
I was like, I could cut this sexual tension with a chainsaw. Yeah, I was at attention, and so were they.
Okay.
His bod is insane, and it's so gay to like. He's just so chiseled, and I feel like.
By the way, she says chiseled every 4 sentences. Like
eat
my
a baked
chiseled
potato every time she says chiseled.
She also describes his. At one point, she's like, his chiseled shoulder leaned into me, and I was like, why do you need to describe his hot chiseled shoulder? Like,
so sharp.
So at the gala, her husband, because he's so meat and potatoes, does not want to eat any of the food.
Watercress salad.
There's a watercress salad. There's a salmon with glaze, and she's like, he doesn't eat salmon or glaze.
But then bruschetta. So it's like, so he won't eat bread?
Yeah, bread
He's
with
not
like
gonna have
tomatoes.
Because the bruschetta was, so I did, and I don't know if you're...
Bruschetta, sorry.
No, do say bruschetta.
Say
how you want.
Bruschetta.
And there was, I actually watched 3 episodes of the show to really get acquainted, and I watched a mid-season, or mid-career show, like from 2014. And she was
before
making
Trump. Oh,
Thank you.
Thank
Before
you.
the orange man. And it was like a bruschetta that was obviously so sweet. And it was like blueberry ricotta balsamic bruschetta.
She is very strawberry salad.
Yeah. Strawberry salad. No, there's
when
always
Wendy's has
and
like
then I just put about 2 tablespoons of honey in the dressing. You're like, oh, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, there's the point where, and we will get back to finish the gala, when she's getting a muffin and breaks the display case of the gas
donut.
station.
Oh,
the chapter was called I just wanted a donut.
And she breaks this display. There's glass everywhere. And she's like, I blacked out. I was standing over the shattered glass, still reaching for the donut. And the man at like the Honeydew gas station was saying, Miss, no donut.
You can't have the donut.
You can't eat that. There's glass all over it.
Like, shards bleeding everywhere.
Well, that was literally a whole chapter was like, this is the craziest story that's happened to me in my life.
But she goes into so much. She's like, so we stopped because Lad wanted a Dr. Pepper.
At 7 a.m.
Then there's a whole separate chapter about his Dr. Pepper addiction.
And Lent.
Oh, wait, which reminds y'all, what are y'all giving up for Lent right now?
I'm giving up my strawberry salad.
Yeah, I'm no honey in my turkey sandwiches.
I'm giving
Really?
up stevia, so that's why I'm probably saying pretty
Whoa,
cranky
okay.
today.
That's why you're Mrs. Crankology over here. No, and the amount of like weird hokey synonyms she has for cranky and the whole Dr. Pepper chapter.
Oh, she was like, he was being a grumpster crankster when he didn't have, and he was silent. He like wouldn't tell her that he was giving up Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
a few days
because
he's
that's
a man.
like the
Well,
religious.
This is actually one of the things that actually is interesting about straight couples is they're like not telling each other stuff can like draw out a mystery for days on end.
and a great story for the book.
yeah.
But what I also love is there's so much thesaurus in this book. like she'll be like, I said restaurant 2 sentences ago. We left the eating establishment, and it's like that's really one of the ones that I underlined because I was like, just say restaurant again. Like, what do you think? Like, this isn't. It's so middle school. Like,
But okay,
like,
there was
use a different word.
There was another writing moment that I noticed because it was in stark contrast to the character she has in the show, where she was talking about the snakes that they use.
Oh, the whole chapter about
The whole chapter how they surprise each other with increasingly
scare each other.
realistic
The way,
snakes.
the way they keep their marriage together is they surprise each other with snakes.
She
Do you wanna
talks about
take
how
it
the
away?
snakes were getting more and more realistic. She goes, bright colors were replaced with deeper, more realistic tones of ebony and moss. Ebony and moss. I was like, ebony and moss?
She said it was brown and green.
Yeah.
And then she
yeah.
opened her thesaurus and she was like, ebony? Moss.
Oh, that's a fun
That's
one.
a fun one.
Moss. Yeah, that must be it. But there was a scene, if we go back to the pilot,
Yeah.
where she is chiffonating parsley as one does, or basil, and she goes, and I'm just going to do a chiffonade, and that word's so silly. It always makes me feel silly, but that's a fun word, and that's what you call it. Just being like super self-conscious about alienating her Midwestern viewers.
Yeah. But her blog, I remember reading on her Wikipedia, did like insane numbers, like 25 million
That's how you
page
get a
visits
show.
a day.
Yeah, no, she's like
more than the Daily
She comes to
Beast,
Shark
is
Tank
what
and
she
she's
said.
just like, well, my revenue is $7 million off of
Yeah.
advertising alone on my mommy blog, and
they're like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, and that's why I'm selling ribbon cutters for calf testicles.
But at the gala, Lad can't eat all this bread with all this topping on.
Yeah.
He wants meat and potatoes.
He doesn't want anything that has a color in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, if I could read a little
Please
part
do.
from the gala.
Music, please.
Dun, dun. Yeah, gala music. I could hear his stomach rumbling. It sounded like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. My man wanted to be fed. Any attempt to put on a happy face was now gone with the previous course dishes. I gave him a compassionate glance as I gobbled down his watercress. Also, so she's eating all of his
And always making
courses.
jokes about it, about like, honey, I guess I'll have to eat your portion.
Yeah.
The fourth course was the last straw. It was lacquered salmon, and Lad eats neither lacquer nor salmon. Lacquer. That was it. He couldn't take it anymore. They're actually trying to kill me, aren't they? He whispered in my ear. He wasn't joking. His hunger level had stripped him of all clear thinking, and paranoia was officially setting in. It's like, this is a madman.
This is
Like,
a child.
Yeah.
This is an insane
And she's like, isn't
child.
it so sexy? And it's like he's just refusing to eat.
And
then
literally the one time he's ever at a dinner
Yeah.
in public.
Yeah.
And she's like making up excuses again then she says, this whole thing, this gala, was all a conspiracy now. An evil plan hatched by my dad's darling wife and her evil board of directors. They knew Lad, the cattle rancher, would be coming to the dinner, and they put crostini and shiny fish on the menu just to watch him in agony. It was all finally becoming clear to him. How could people be so cruel? Anyway, he finally gets up and goes to McDonald's.
Well,
That's
No.
what he says.
yeah, we think he's going to McDonald's,
And
but
then-
instead of taking 20 minutes, he takes 40.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Plot twist. He went to a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And had a whole meal and tipped 25%. She's clear to mention.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh.
How does she know that? I don't think. Oh, but by the way, what we're not talking about is that the gala was for his stepmom's theater company that she's on the board of. Like they
in
never
Central
mentioned.
Tulsa.
Yeah. What was this theater? What was the gala? I'm dying to know like what was on the calendar for that year. Like we're doing Noises Off. We're doing Legally Blonde.
She also reveals at one point that redheads have a higher propensity for pain in childbirth.
Yeah.
And that's why she needed epidural. Because the whole epidural, like, birth chapter is basically her, like, performing this insane guilt around having used the epidural.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's all this culture of guilt and motherhood conversations around breastfeeding or not breastfeeding, you know, do you use the drugs or not?
Yeah.
And she's really kind of talking herself off the ledge about how she tried to not use it, but she had to. But it's okay because she's a redhead. But then she did go to the Lamaze classes, and then she was able to not use an epidural on her,
One
like,
time.
third child. But then her fourth child was insanely traumatic, and it had to be a C-section.
Yeah.
But then there's another breastfeeding scene where she's still, like, hiding the breastfeeding from her brother-in-law under, like, a blanket. And she's just like, and I didn't think that he knew what was going on under there. But, of course, he knew what was going on under that blanket.
She's so weird.
She's
so weird. No, that chapter was so crazy because it was all about how, like, Tim, her brother-in-law, how close they were and how, like, he had such a cowboy mouth. She's like, you don't get it. When men are in a barn together at 4 a.m., like...
they have sugar lips. Like,
yeah.
everything. She said sugar lips, and I was just like, this phrase?
I don't remember that.
She was like, he was called Sugar Lips because he always said what he thought. And it's just like, this phrase is so sexual.
I don't know if that's why he's called Sugar Lips. I think the men are calling him Sugar Lips for a different reason.
I think they're all going over there and using his sugar lips after they're done hurting the cattle.
And why don't you take a look at the lipstick on your husband's cock, Reed? Okay?
Wake the fuck up,
Reed.
Reed.
He's gay, and he's fucking your brother.
Celebrity Book Club.
She's always like, just being a simple country girl myself, we do things, and even the fact that she calls it the pioneer woman, like, that's not someone that's in the country. You know what I mean? Like that. There's an outside sort of look.
Well, because this is her whole fish out of water thing. Like,
and she's very clear about like, I'm fish out of water.
But it's like the water in question. It's like,
just
so you're like
suburban
Tulsa golf course to like actually 2 hours outside of Tulsa.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's the transition.
2 hours and a lifetime away. Yeah.
And then she has like, she does a lot of things where like she'll break it down, which is, you know, fun for the reader. Well, she'll just be like, here's a list of 30 dogs I've had. But then well, she's like, lad's childhood, my childhood, like the difference of them. And one is like, it does seem like she does like being with his family better because she's just so like, let's talk about Pop and Gramps.
Well,
and
one of the
Nan.
funniest things is like how she stresses like the fact that her parents' divorce while she was an adult was one of the most traumatizing things that she's ever been through in her life. Like, can you imagine being like, what? Like, as an adult.
As at, like, age 27.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're not going to be together anymore. It's like, again, homeschool, I'm like, got a grip.
I know, it is just like, so what really happened? Like, did your mother abuse you, the pets?
Right.
Like, what went down? Like,
there was a meth thing.
There was like, something happened.
I mean, her eyebrows are pretty meth, the pioneer Reese.
Oh, that's just like 2000s. Like, that's just the havoc of the 2000s.
Her hair
on her eyebrows.
also becomes it becomes like more garish as the show goes on. And especially, so I was watching like the quarantine episodes, and it's all
her kids film.
And they're sitting with their iPhones on their little like sticks, and the kids are all kind of homeschooly too, and awkward, and like biting their lips and kind of looking around shuffly, and like laughing at her really weird jokes again that are not jokes.
Right.
Where
Very
she's just
homeschool.
being just like, oh, like, well, of course, there's nothing I like more than cheese. And they're like, Mom.
Mom, that's crazy.
Oh, well, okay, let's get to the homeschool thing. So she has this whole thing where she admits that she, like, homeschools her kids for several years, but then they...
Because, again, the drive, Tulsa, she was like, I was driving them an hour, and, like, then I would have come back, and then I'd have to drive again. And I was like, well, that commute does sound crazy.
And again, but that's, like, 5 pages of her describing the commute.
Like, just like,
she's like,
we get in the
wake
car
up at 5:30, and you know me at 5:30, and it's like, okay, and then all just to say like, I homeschooled my kids.
She's like, so lad pushes me, and he's like, honeybee, wake up, and I'm like, And then he pushes me again 15 minutes later. And I'm like, not on this, your watch.
And then it's like, there's a paragraph. Of course, lad was used to waking up at 3:45 a.m. Because to him, that's the time that you wake up. You wake up at 3 a.m. so you can go feed the cattle.
So I get the
move
kids and the spurs.
Because you want to move the cattle while it's still cold before it gets too hot. That detail is in this book 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
How she's like, you think summer's
later
fun?
in the day.
Yeah. You think summer's fun? Oh, you think we just cool off in the creek? Not in my creek full of snakes.
Yeah.
But I love how like fake self-deprecating she is. Like,
yes, just like,
my
I
husband
can't
wakes
get it
up
together.
at 5:30. I wake up more towards noon. And with coffee. And it's like, what? Okay.
She's like, yeah, I think I'm going to need a glass of wine. Or maybe 2 glasses of wine at the end of this week. This book is also very, like, she's just her weird opinion. She's always
Her daughter wants to see Magnolia Bakery.
So it's just like, and my daughter was very tall. And I had a there's another point where she says, lad had a very tall mother.
Oh, yeah.
She's always just being like, and some girls are really tall, and that's okay. And it sounds like maybe it's not okay with you.
Also, she's constantly making comments about weight. But then, excusing it before, like being like, and look, I know looks don't matter, but I was 10 sizes bigger than I've ever been in my life. Back fat you wouldn't believe. I was like, okay. But it's just like that constantly.
She's like, and of course I didn't want to pass on any of these insecurities to my daughter, so I didn't say anything about it in the car, even though my thighs had never been larger.
Jiggled more than before.
And I would never be able to fit into the jeans I had in college ever again. I burned them. I put them under the house where the skunks live.
Sorry, what's insane? One, when she shoots a skunk, buries a skunk so she can go out to a restaurant in Tulsa.
Oh, yeah, that funny story where my husband said, if you bury the skunk, I'll take you out to dinner. I did it.
Right after he's killed it with a shotgun.
Yeah.
After he's murdered the skunk with a shotgun.
And she wants to go to this couple's dinner that was them driving to another couple's house, all piling into several SUVs, then driving an hour. So she wears slim pants. But the scene where her daughter is like, Mom, stop wearing like blouses and skinny jeans to soccer games, wear a t-shirt and shorts. And then she was like, that's why she was like, I could never do that because my body, because I'm so obese, but I wouldn't tell my daughter that. And it's like she's wearing the craziest QVC blouse.
I was going to say, the most flowy QVC, like peasant, tattered, whatever, like tie-dye strappy top.
Bell sleeve.
Belled from here to next
bell
Tuesday.
Sleeves,
from here to
bell
Tulsa. The bell is exciting. And the daughter, and I kept wondering, this is the tall daughter. And I'm like, is tall daughter a lesbian or not? And
isn't tall girl engaged to Maurizio? Who Cowboy Josh is
Paige.
Like, one of them is engaged. I forget which
I don't
one.
remember which one.
Okay.
But she was like, the daughter, she was more nervous for Cowboy Josh to meet him than her dad.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh. I was like, something, that's why I was like, something's up with Cowboy Josh.
Oh, right, because Ree never goes into that barn. She's sending her kids there for the day. They're like, she's always like, and they come back at 9:30 covered in shit and piss and dirt and blood. Like, but that's my kids. They love it out there. And it's like, do they? Or why don't you go?
Do they love waking up at 3:45 a.m.? And she's like, but it teaches them ranch stuff.
And the son, there's when the son gets accidentally branded. And she's like, oh, it's just a hand burn.
Yeah.
And I thought, I look so ugly in this hospital right now. I've never looked more disgusting. I wanted to stop by the Avon counter and put some makeup on.
Yeah.
But I drove him to the ER.
Yeah. Oh, and she's like, and there was a hole in my crotch.
Yeah.
I repeat, a hole in my crotch.
Wait, and then at the hospital where she has like a hole in her crotch after her son was branded, she like runs into like
her ex-boyfriend's mom.
Yeah. Right, which was like so insane.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ex-boyfriends in this book.
Yeah.
Well, and then her ex-boyfriend, her crush, her former high school crush comes to a signing with his wife, and she's like so embarrassed and so sweaty.
Yeah.
In her dripping. I mean, I doubt that material is breathable.
No.
Everything is like poly, like what's that? Rayon blend. A lot of rayon in that house.
Rayon nylon.
I do feel like, I think the thing about all the ex-boyfriends and the way that she's constantly describing her chiseled husband and his Wranglers.
She won.
Well, I think she fucks, I guess.
Well, yeah, she has all those kids.
And then she keeps making jokes about, she was like, and yes, we had another kid, and I won't go into the details of how that happened.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, I got pregnant
it
again.
had something to do with what we did on our wedding night.
Yeah. And she'd be like, I don't want to give you the details about why so many of my children are born in this summer, but I think you can piece it together.
But then, she got vertigo on her Australian honeymoon.
Oh my God! Well, that's the first story in the book.
How she got the inner ear infection on their Australian honeymoon.
By the way, okay, so the book opens with this story about like the worst first year of marriage. Like we had the worst first year. It started off. First of all, I got an ear infection in Australia. Okay. Talk about a rocky start. And then she's like, plus my husband couldn't find anything to eat in the country. In Australia?
Oh yeah, I was like
a cattle capital of like the world.
The most normal, like cultureless place.
Absolutely. There's McDonald's. Like, what is she talking
about?
Isn't
the whole Australian thing like burgers with fried eggs?
It's insanity.
It's like, but
blooming onions.
They say it funny, so
he couldn't really wrap his head around it. He's the same weight he was in high school. He's the same weight that he was in college.
Yeah.
He's never put on a pound. He has an 8-pack and a 12-pack in his Wranglers.
Yeah.
But
and he loves my brother's sugar lips.
Yeah. So the worst.
Oh yeah, my husband is snatched. He looks thin. He is. It's like
sometimes he won't eat for days, and he gets very angry and stops speaking.
Yeah. My husband's just an angry, skinny bitch, and that's the way I like it. Scrumptious. She says scrumptious a lot.
She loves
scrumptious
and chiseled.
Oh, and her coffee, of course, is so coffee mate like hazelnut. She's like, I take a sip of my iced coffee, drowning in like hazelnut.
When she's at the Honeydew gas station, the whole apple fritter fiasco.
Yeah.
Like she spends a half a paragraph describing the coffee and all the creamers she's putting in, how
she's
delectable it is.
She's like, ooh, almond joy, cookies and cream. Like, I just want to quickly talk about calf nuts.
With the testicle?
The calf testicle, how she's like, she's like, on this farm, like calf nuts are everywhere, and she's always finding like cow testicles in her kids' jeans pockets.
No, not the testicles. The sack, the ball, the empty sack. The empty calf sack. The fuzzy calf sack. The kids think they're toys and they put them in their pockets. Then you do laundry and boy, oh boy, you don't want to smell what that's like. Like hot sack. And it's like,
she's like, if the pile of shit was enough, try watching Wranglers, like,
but you know what?
Testicles.
I think she
or
really
Rocky Mountain oysters, as they call them, if they're deep fried. And Sugar Lips has a really good recipe for Rocky Mountain oysters.
Right, with
flour, tons of cayenne, hot
because cowboys like pepper.
Yeah,
hot nuts.
Hot nuts.
My men love their hot nuts. My skinny, snatched, chiseled bitch of a husband loves his spicy nuts.
It's like he'll eat spicy nuts, but can't find anything to eat in Australia.
Yeah.
I want to ask what you guys think her politics are.
Oh,
I have a theory that I feel like her and all her friends, like her other homeschooling friends, they all voted for Klobuchar and all their husbands vote for Trump, but no one tells anyone who they voted for. And they will take it to their grave and they just do not discuss that at the dinner table.
Absolutely, because I watched a cool, awesome supercut of the top 5 casseroles she makes. And she makes Klobuchar's casserole, which is ground beef, cheese, tater tots.
A hot dish.
Yeah, hot dish. And she just does seem so clobbed to me because it's so but first wine. And I feel like her crew is very like, oh, we're not talking politics at the table.
No. It's very we don't.
They literally go to the polling station together, like the husband and wife leave, get back into their massive SUV, and they're
silent hour drive back.
Yeah,
absolutely silent.
Yeah.
Well,
could stop for a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And they might even be like, I could see like she's putting on her like I voted sticker on.
I don't think she's putting it on.
You don't think on her big float for like the drive?
Wait.
Do you think Lado
I think she doesn't vote.
No, it's
you
hard
think
enough
you
to
can
go
find
to,
an hour on a ranch day?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, she only gets to go to dinner like once a month.
Yeah.
Segment bruschetta.
What does she eat? What does she wear? How does she live? All right, what does she eat?
What does she eat? I mean, we know it's always a mix of cheddar and Monterey Jack.
Monterey Jack?
Idiot. You fucking idiot.
Shut up! I was homeschooled. We didn't learn. We learned differently.
We never went over the cheeses.
I don't know what a nickel looks like. Remember that part?
yeah,
She's like, my son didn't know what a nickel looked like.
Next time, she's like, next kid, maybe I'll teach him math.
She was like, I felt bad I skipped the currency section.
Oh, she loves sushi, and her favorite sushi place is in Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, she likes gals' night food.
Yeah.
She obviously loves getting shishito peppers with
Spinach
her
artichoke.
girls and spinach artichoke dip.
Spinach artichoke, everything, please.
No, she's very just like spinach artichoke flatbread, like with
Yes.
feta and then balsamic on
Yeah.
it. Everything's got
And
a
then
balsamic
there's like
drizzle.
balsamic shishitos. Then there's a bloomin' onion. And she's like, I shouldn't, but I will. This is why the pants don't fit.
I will say I do think she has like had to follow food trends somewhat over the
Yes.
course of her career, and I was like noticing in the later seasons like she was making like in some ways an not Alice Roman, but getting close to a lemony like parsley forward pasta.
Yeah.
But she's still calling it the veggie-tastic pasta. Like she's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
blogging it up. And then putting like breadcrumbs on top and not even saying panko, just being like, these are fun breadcrumbs. I like to use Wonder Bread, or you can
Right.
use whatever you have lying around.
She's got an industrial tub of lemon pepper.
Yes, no,
It's big Costco up, and there's
Mrs. Dash is all over that
yeah.
house.
Oh, and there's that whole section where she's like about like where she learns to go to Costco and like buy.
Oh, yeah. She's like, buying in
ahead.
bulk. The whole chapter about how she learned to buy in bulk.
I was watching this one casserole where I was like, I mean, all of them obviously like looked so good and naughty. And she was like, so now we're adding in 3 tubs of cottage cheese, and you're actually not even going to notice the cottage cheese. It's just to get a creamy texture. Then we're going to do a quart of sour cream, and then we're going to mix up the Monterey Jack. And and it is kind of like, why the cottage cheese?
Giving you a Monterey degree in cheese studies. Okay, she also is like, everything is always about like how her husband doesn't like colorful foods, and she's like, and I'm gonna put these tomatoes on the plate. Not now he won't eat them, but I just think they make the dish look nice.
Yeah.
And then everything is the sweetest dressing. She also loves mason jars for
Oh,
making
yeah.
dressing.
Oh, yeah, super
And she's
fun.
like, I think it's just so much better than mixing it in a bowl and then putting it in a jar. and
Plus,
it's
you
like,
get to fun shake, which is a little bit of cardio.
Lord knows I need it.
but I do. I mean, sure.
Yeah. I mean, the food doesn't sound bad to me.
No, I was like,
And she has a good sense of balance, I'll
Yeah.
say. Like, she is always putting
It's
greens
not all
on the plate.
Paula
Like,
Deen, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah, yeah,
always 3 tubs of cottage cheese. She's like, and even though like Lad does love an iceberg lettuce salad, like she wants her big
Yeah. Arugula.
Strawberry
She wants
arugula.
strawberry arugula.
yeah.
strawberry arugula feta,
Feta, blueberries,
Yeah.
pulverized walnuts.
things that are lacquered
Yeah.
glazes.
Lackey and glazy. There needs to be, it's also, portions are large.
Well,
to
now,
feed ranch boys.
actually, I was just looking it up. She has lost 55 pounds in the last year, and she talks about how it's just about like
Oh, portions.
portion sizes.
Well, I have to, so shout out to my cousin Lisa, who also lost an enormous amount of weight through portion control.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah. We were at this like family dinner at one of the restaurants on the boat, and she was saying how she had lost all this weight. And she was like, the trick I realized was that, you know what? If I really like this ice cream, I can have another bowl tomorrow. And I don't have to have another bowl now.
That's
And
very
I was
Weight
like,
Watchers
wow,
mentality.
that's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you will be able to have it. It's just
Yeah.
actually, it's really just about time.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah.
this sort of like
But
time
since it was
management.
12:01, I guess it was technically tomorrow. Oh, Ree. She's so country mouse Carrie Bradshaw. Because
the
it's
puns,
literally the
yeah.
puns,
And
the blogs,
the
the sort of
narrative.
self-deprecating, quote unquote,
Yeah.
but like adorable, but like
Country mouse
fantasy,
Carrie.
Country mouse Carrie.
Okay, what does she wear?
Dillard's.
Yeah. She's
Reba for
QVC.
Dillard's. Yeah,
I think
QVC.
that obviously it's QVC. I think she's ordering a lot of clothing and then picking it up in the town, obviously, when
Yes.
she's doing her weekly town
Because she
trip.
respects her UPS driver.
What's her favorite store to go to, though?
I feel like she's shopping at one of those, like, the Red Dress Barn Boutique.com, where it's just, like, some store you've never heard of, and everything is just, like, a bell-sleeve dress.
With butterfly?
With so many butterflies and floral prints and, like, almost tie-dye prints.
Because when she goes to New York, I feel like she's not shopping at all.
Where is
She's
she buying
you know,
her black
Because
dress?
when most people go to New York, honey, they shop, okay?
Yeah.
It's a shopping
she's
destination.
She's like, Bloomingdale's me. I stay in and I order some sushi. New York City
style sushi.
Yeah, I feel like,
Gowanus Canal.
but I also could just see her like logging on to Macy's.com.
Yeah, Macy's. I think she's Macy's.
For
I think she's
some
Macy's.
beautiful black slacks. She's like, I need some slacks.
How does she live?
Okay, so I'm wondering, like, what are the renos now that she's like rich on that home? Because she's like, we're in the home that Lad grew up in. Like, in my mind, it does seem pretty like. I mean, obviously, it's big shelves that
There's
are so
open style
like,
shelving in the kitchen.
mason
The kitchen
jars.
is kind of just like a little bit Chip and Joanna. I do wonder what the actual house is like.
Yeah.
though.
It seems messy.
I
kind
feel
of.
like
yeah,
it's
I think it's not
messy.
as nice as
I
the
think
lodge.
it's dark. I think it's scary. I think it's like dark gray, dirty carpet, big scary couch with cup holders, live, laugh,
Huge.
love, Christian key
I
holder
don't know.
hanging.
I don't know if she's live, laugh, love. I think
think-
she thinks
yeah.
she's a little bit ahead. I think she's
Yeah.
a little bit like
You don't
it's
think,
not live, laugh,
You don't
love.
think it says. You don't think there's a big key rack that says family?
Well, family, yeah.
family,
You're right.
I
Okay,
think-
family.
Key
fair.
rack that says
You're right.
family. She has like a small wine sign that's a first wine, but like Lad is sober, so I feel like she's not.
Oh.
Yes, she's not.
She's not. But he's never had a drink.
He's
Right.
never had a drink in his whole life. He's never had a cigarette. He's
Oh my
never
God,
done a
that's so
recreational
gay.
drug.
He's
Yeah.
like, if I do, I'll fuck a guy.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he's literally, if I
The
smell.
second I lose an inhibition.
Yes. The second I do one popper, I will have to fuck Josh so savagely.
Yeah. Lots of black wrought iron and like
Yeah,
cedar.
of course.
Yes,
Cedar.
tons of cedar, and like the lodge where the tours are nicer and even more Chip and Joanna with like the cedar and the mason jars. But I'm imagining the
I think
biggest,
the lodge is more pine, but yeah, go
the
on.
biggest like lazy boys, but they're like
Oh.
nice and new.
Biggest lazy boys. One of those like
Chargers, lights.
one of those
connected in
tables that's made of like a big random piece of wood that's like crooked and everything, and then like sort of cut with a big piece of glass on top.
wow.
One big
wow.
wow, you think it's really that like sexy lodge? That
I think
glass?
so.
I mean,
Yeah.
she is like
On
a
the
celebrity.
reclaimed?
Yeah.
I think
Because
I'm
he
sorry,
probably did
when
it.
you have 4 crazy boys running around, you don't want a big glass table. that's
Chiseled
like-
edges.
You're right.
Someone's-
If there had been a glass table, we would have heard about it in one of these stories.
Okay,
Like,
that's not a good idea when
Yeah.
you've got chiseled cowboys running around.
But I think you're right. I bet there are some more modern chiseled, like wooden pieces,
like a clock or something that's like a naughty piece of tree stump.
And when you say naughty, you mean not
K-N-O-T-T-Y.
Naughty.
Not
Kind of
naughty.
I just feel like randomly she has like a British flag somewhere that's like small. I don't
Popcorn
know.
ceiling?
Yeah.
Do we think it's popcorn
In
ceiling?
the old house, yeah, not in the lodge.
Not in the lodge. Yeah.
Dear God, not in the lodge.
Yeah.
And take that back about the British flag.
You don't think little pillow British flag someone gave it to her because
No,
the
I
whole
think
crew is
because
British.
the whole crew is British, and I think
Okay, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take that
Okay.
back.
yeah.
Small British Union Jack pillow, absolutely.
Yeah.
And their bedroom, obviously, like heavy, 2 lamps.
Yeah, obviously, like there's the duvet and all
Do
the
you
pillows
think
and
there's
the
like
silk
a big
and the
lube in
the
a
sham
drawer?
and
Lube in a drawer.
Yeah.
big lube and drawer.
Ooh, I think there's lube, but she hides it because she doesn't
Of
want him
course,
to
she
know.
hides it. Oh,
that
she doesn't
he-
want.
Well, so
She
she's
doesn't want him to
slathering it
know.
on
He
before.
slides into this slathered up
Yes.
pussy.
I think she goes, "Hold on just a minute, lad."
Right.
And then she's like,
She maybe even goes into the bathroom to apply it,
Basically
and
douches.
then comes back out.
"Yes."
And it's a long red nightie. And she's like, let me get into something a little more comfortable.
Because she's so like Christian and like coy and like a man should never see you wetting yourself.
I mean, that's also why she's so carry, because I feel like she's sex with bra on.
Yes. Yeah.
Riding him with bra.
I don't think they're writing. I think it is missionaria.
You don't think she's girl on top writhing that chiseled D?
She's probably just like,
I'm
I
really
was worried
thinking
I'm
about
going
it.
to crush
crushing it,
him
that's
because
true.
I put on a lot of weight since my 4 kids
Meanwhile,
since college.
he weighs exactly the same as he always
118
has.
pounds like he did in college and half school and
118
middle school.
Now, the real question.
Who are
Are
you
you
in
in
the book?
box?
Look.
Look, okay, I'm going to be real with you guys.
All right, lay it on.
Steven, I think you are producer Rachel.
British
the British producer who like came from Ina and was like, wait, I love your charming little ranch and your gorgeous husband. Let's do a picnic. And she's like, there's chiggers in the grass. You're coming in with ideas. You're producer Rachel.
And you're like, what about a vintage quilt? And she's like, well, the chiggers are
Gonna get in there.
a vintage quilt.
Yeah,
A vintage quilt on grass with snakes.
I don't think so.
And I'm like, well, let's get some snake repellent. Let's get some tents. I'm ordering tents now. We
And
can
you're
do
like,
this.
yummy, yummy, yum. How did you land that piping pot of tea over there?
Wait, and I do start fucking one of her ranch hands?
Well,
No.
It's like a PA who fucks Cowboy
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
No, producer Rachel's married to a cameraman, Julia Roberts style.
Yeah.
looking for a top,
That actually
yeah.
is so me because it's like he is kind of trade, but he also like has a skill, and I'm
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah. And
You're
he's
really-
like also
An intellectual skill.
British too.
And like gets TV, but it's
Yeah.
still like holding a camera.
Yeah.
So it's like top stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
literally me to a
That's
T.
you.
Okay,
Yeah, done.
Lily, for a long time I was like, is Lily Lad or Ree? Because
The
I
ultimate
can
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're really both
Every
in so
day,
many
yeah.
ways.
because
Ask
I
myself
mostly
that.
think you're Lad, but I also was like, but I picture Lily being like, I don't want to get up.
yeah, I would.
General, I wanna
yeah,
get up.
you're
Yeah,
like-
I'm not getting up at 3:45. Like obviously, I'm dressing the part as Lad,
You
and I think,
hate getting up.
Yeah.
You love Wranglers, but you hate getting up.
Yeah.
oh my god, 3:45.
Yeah.
And I think the Lad Ree is my struggle throughout life. Is
Yeah.
I want to be Lad, but I'm Ree.
Yeah.
But you also want to be Ree, and there's nothing you love more than like a high top with your girls and sushi night.
Well, this is our constant conversation where you're like, stop pretending you're Lad, you're Ree. Like, because yeah, I do, and I am like, let's go out. Like,
but then again, like you literally do golf.
I
But
literally-
see,
Yeah.
that gets back to Ree born on a
Golf course.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, I don't think I love galas. I wouldn't like storm out because like a salad was served.
No.
Right. Right.
And
right.
you would be so double portioned.
You would like the
salmon.
bruschetta. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
like-
this is nice.
This is nice,
nice
good, right? But I also would whip up like it's Lad. Like I am a hungry man that wants like
Yeah.
chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
Okay, who are you?
Okay.
I think
Lisa,
I'm-
what did you think you were?
I'm Lad's stepmom who is on the board at the theater.
You mean Ree's stepmom?
No. This is Lad's.
Not Lad's like the one who's like really tall but would never want to wear like the same color top as bottom because you didn't want to appear like a
Nan?
column.
She was the one like
Yeah, and
hosting
she's always
the gala.
being so like, well, now that Gramps is alone, he's always buying so much like corn or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, you are in Tulsa. You're
I'm
putting
like,
together.
Thanks for coming to the gala, hun. We could use your celebrity power around here for this next season.
And you're telling your husband, just being like, we gotta get Ree and Lad to the gala. We gotta get it there.
Oh gosh, think there'll be anything for him to eat? It's bruschetta. Yeah.
I mean, she's a chef.
Yeah.
He's got to be eating bruschetta all
Yeah.
the time. And then you're putting on a beautiful
Season of
Legally
theater.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Another amazing season knocked it out of the park.
We raised $1,300.
I would say that I give this book. It's a little tough because I really do enjoy her as a
Storyteller.
cultural icon
Sure.
and a movement.
But as a book,
As a book, this is a Facebook post.
this is a Facebook
And
post.
just like Facebook posts, I would say the first 100 pages, I was like, I'm dying, I'm loving this,
Yeah.
like this is amazing. And then you're at like 280,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, babe, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
With listing your basset hounds and
Yeah,
what
she's like,
kind of feed they
Chapter
eat.
22, horses. Here's the name of all. Here's the names of all the horses, dead and alive. She really did that.
Where the part of me, she was just like, and I thought the horses wanted to kill me the way they were looking at me through the windows.
Oh, because they ate her sunflowers. Well, I never planted sunflowers again. I'll tell you that much. You're like, okay, that was chapter 5?
So I do love the short chapters, and I do love that you can kind of open it to anywhere.
And just have a good time.
Just have a laugh.
Just dive right in.
Yeah, treat it more like,
sense
I
of
would
humor.
say, as advice to our listeners if
Yeah.
you're going to buy this, treat it like a coffee table book. or a book of Psalms.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a book of psalms and lessons. And there is a little bit of a moral lesson to every single story that you can take with you and put in your pocket and snack on till the next church
So
session.
I'm giving this 3.9 bull testicles
Wow.
out of 5. Yeah.
Ooh.
It was really just a different, just good old Christian fun.
Christian fun. Yeah.
It definitely was a Christian level of fun, for sure. And it showed me that some of our religious brothers and sisters do know how to kick back and let loose and let their hair down.
I may be a
bit.
Christian, but I drink wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, you tell me that's not godly. You tell me God didn't have a little hand in Chardonnay.
And yes, we do have wasabi in Tulsa, okay?
After all, it is the blood of Christ.
So yeah, I would say I give this book maybe a 3 out of a 5-hour drive to my local restaurant for date night once every 6 months.
I would give this 3 horse-eaten sunflowers out of 5.
Yeah. Munch.
Three dead skunks.
Skunks.
All right. Well, Cole, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks
our
for
ramshackle little pod.
having
This
Thank
is
you
a
for
real
coming
thrill.
in the whisper room and just getting real, getting Christian.
I have to say, I have a high bed, and I am not ashamed of it.
Oh.
Climb on up.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you for being so raw and vulnerable.
No more comments.
And let our listeners know, where can they find you? You said Cobble Hill? Or?
I live in Cobble Hill in
Okay.
Brooklyn on Street,
Yeah.
and in between
Beep,
and
beep.
right on top of your mom's fat beep.
Love that fun humor for the whole fam
Family.
family.
Yeah, some of Cole's humor is not Christian. I'll say that. Yeah.
Hey, look, come on. I went to UCLA for gerontology.
That classic gerontology major wit.
My Bachelor of Science in Gerontology. Next week, we are reading Foxy by legendary Pam Grier. You know her from Jackie Brown, Foxy Brown, and The L Word.
And make sure to keep listening for today's VIP Lounge, where Cole Escola will give us the down and dirty on everything you want to know about Los Angeles, the beach, New York, having sex, plastic surgery, and more. Go to patreon.com/cbcthepod if you want to subscribe for only $5 a month. Oh my God, it's practically free. All right. Thanks so much, y'all. Best.
Welcome to the VIP Lounge. We've left the ranch, but Cole is still here.
Hell yes. We've gone to downtown Tulsa. We're in the club. We've ordered bottle service. Everyone's getting loose. Their lips are looser, and the gossip is flying.
Oh, yeah. My strawberry mojito, let's just say I've finished it.
So Cole, you and I were just talking before the show started
Yeah.
about plastic surgery,
Yeah.
and celebrities and that have
Right.
gotten liposuction. So let's just hear some names.
Well, before I name everyone who I heard has had liposuction, I also want to talk about the phenomenon, or like the new thing now is to get filler right behind the hairline, like above the cheekbone, like
Instead
below
of
the
pulling
eye.
back.
Instead of pulling back and instead of getting it right in the cheek.
That makes actually a lot of sense.
But then you'll notice that there are
gerontologist.
some people that look like they like
have puffy side heads.
yeah, like puffy side head. Like,
See, the
Courtney
thing is,
Cox,
to me, yes.
to me looks like she has puffy side head.
And the thing is, it makes you more cat-like.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more, because it starts to push against the eyes,
Yeah.
and then the eyes start to get scrunched, and then
At
we're
this
getting
point,
to cat eye.
I feel like Courtney Cox is recognized in the American Cat Fanciers Association.
Okay, claws are out.
Meow. Did I just
Okay.
say that? Here we are, the Us Weekly Tulsa Roundup.
But then celebrities who have had liposuction.
And we will
there's
leave
really
this
only
out.
like 2 names that are like somewhat surprising. One is
And that was just a taste of the VIP lounge. Subscribe on patreon.com/CBCthepod to get more content like that every single week for only $5 a month. Again, that's patreon.com/CBCthepod. For $5 a month, you get access to the VIP lounge every single week. That's more Stephen and Lily every single week for only $5 a month. VIP, subscribe.
Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Projects. The show is produced by Benjamin Frisch. With editorial support from Leon Nafok, Andrew Passons, and Madeline Kaplan. Our production manager is Pasia Valin. Original theme song by Stephen Phillips Horst. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips NY. He's got a show coming up at the MFA. Hot stuff. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CBC The Pod. Subscribe to your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review. And don't forget to tell your chucklehead friends about us. Oh, and don't forget to go to patreon.com for access to the VIP lounge.